West Side, like, did you have to audition for Snow White, or like, oh, they saw you in West Side Story, they're like, you're Snow White?
West Side Story was kind of nowhere near coming out. We were about like 6 months away from release, and no footage had been seen. And I actually got a really glowing recommendation from Steven Spielberg to Mark Webb, who directed Snow White, saying that, and I also got a text from Steven kind of alluding to the fact that I had gotten the part before I had found out.
The Snow White boycott has started, and I know you have long heard viewers all around choose to overlook this film. Online rumors abound that people would not donate a single dollar to Disney for what they did with the legendary animated film remake, so changing its core and approach to the cherished classic. Many supporters of the original have voiced their discontent, claiming that the attempt to reinterpret this fairy tale should not have produced the total loss of the sincere spirit and authenticity inherent in the source material. A full-scale Snow White boycott campaign has thus exploded on social media. People from all around the world have shockingly come together in their intention not to see this movie, so showing solidarity and demanding respect for the legacy of vintage animation. As is often the case, one could have assumed that all the threats and remarks would remain empty words expressed just in remarks on forums and blogs, though this time the situation has turned out to be far more serious. YouTube and other platforms, we have seen instances where online voices finally fell short of real actions, with people eventually going to the theaters and handing over their money at the box office. The issue has escalated to the point where the Disney behemoth chose to act with extreme caution, showing its concern over the possible drop in box office income and the possibility of a large boycott instead of discounting the demonstrations. Disney has started a pre-sale of Snow White tickets starring Rachel Zegler in the main role. Moving fans have been excitedly awaiting this remake, which is set to premiere theaters worldwide on March 21st, which is quite soon, yet the marketing approach turned out to be rather unusual. The ticket sales started several weeks before the official premiere instead of the usual national release. For big blockbusters, this is not new, but many were taken aback by how much Disney was postponing the ticket sales for Snow White. As it turned out, the company was naturally concerned and, strangely enough, had gotten a worldwide boycott threat from viewers to underline the gravity of the matter. One can cite an incident that happened at the AMC Disney Springs Theater in Orlando, Florida. For big Disney releases, this movie has always been the privileged venue. Several halls, including VIP sections, are set aside for premiere events, so fostering an atmosphere of actual celebration. On the first evening of the premiere, an examination of the Snow White preview and the screening times reveals, however, that the company did not anticipate a significant turnout. Rather, the marketing approach suggested that the boycott of the movie had already started. For the premiere of the remake Snow White, what precisely are we seeing in practice in the so-called Royal Theater of Disney in Orlando? There was just one little hall assigned. Though we are talking about not the most successful blockbuster from Disney and Marvel, whose budget is roughly equivalent to Snow White, this decision shows an unusual marketing approach if we compare it with past projects, such the film Captain America: New World Order, which was screened in 5 halls for its premiere with tickets sold out in just a few hours, even if many experts and critics believe otherwise. One can clearly see the variations in the ways the movie is launched. This analogy implies that Disney's approach with Snow White might prove to be a historic experiment involving the actual audience reaction to the remake. Let's examine closely what is happening around the Rachel Zegler starring remake in the main role. Basically, the movie will be shown in one small hall, even on the premiere night, which already begs problem. Given that just a few days remain until the premiere and the audience usually shows great interest in Disney films on the first day following ticket sales, just 15 seats were sold for this one and only hall. Naturally, someone could argue that the hall might fill up in time given about a week and a half left until the official release, but the main point of contention here is not whether one hall fills or not. The trend itself is what matters most. It is abundantly evident from viewers that they intend exactly to carry out their threat to boycott the movie. Apart from this depressing scenario for Disney, it should be mentioned that Rachel Zegler, selected for the main part, has also been utterly disengaged from interacting with the press and audience. She still hasn't taken part in the customary press events or interacted with any American media sources 10 days before Snow White's release. This gives the impression that Disney is trying every bit to conceal its top star, maybe in response to unfavorable responses or unwelcome inquiries from fans and reporters in the modern world, where personal interaction with stars and active social media participation are of great relevance. such actions merely heighten viewers' mistrust and feed the boycott's fire. When we look at the whole picture, it is clear that viewers, probably for the first time in many years, have chosen to fully follow through on their threats by starting a total boycott of the Snow White movie. Online communities, forums, and social media groups are joining to voice their discontent and warn others against helping this movie. Such responses have their roots in recent developments in the entertainment business, where many lovers of nostalgic movies and animations have grown progressively critical of reboots and remakes. They think businesses should focus more on maintaining the original spirit and artistic value of the works than on pursuing profit at the price of drastic changes. Furthermore noteworthy is the tendency of such boycotts to get more intense over time. Today's audience responds more and more from concrete actions rather than words. If we look back at past cases, even the strongest online threats, such as comments or blog entries, ultimately resulted in actual changes in distribution and marketing techniques. In the case of Snow White, the scenario gains even more dramatic turn. The signs already point to a real movement starting to influence Disney's plans and general marketing strategy rather than only empty rhetoric. For instance, some movie buffs have seen messages about lower seat bookings for Disney premiere events showing up in theaters all around the nation. Pre-sale data and user activity analysis on websites like Twitter and Instagram verify that the boycott is a real movement rather than merely idle rhetoric. Many classic animation fans freely admit that they would rather not see remakes since they believe they lack the magic that once made the original movies true masterpieces. Such attitude naturally causes questions not only among marketers but also inside the company itself, for which audience trust and popularity have always been crucial. It's interesting to observe that this kind of audience response is not exclusive of Snow White. Particularly in projects where the original material is substantially changed, boycotts and protest campaigns against remakes of classic films have grown rather common in recent years. One can find examples on websites devoted to film commentary as well as in forum debates. Looking at the situation as a cultural phenomenon, it is evident that viewers are trying to preserve a cultural legacy passed down through generations. Now, when multi-million-dollar budgets and the reputation of giants like Disney are at stake, the boycott takes on even more relevance for Americans, who view the film industry as a real part of their daily life rather than only entertainment. This phenomenon gains particular relevance. Millions of people are active, sharing their ideas, criticizing, and even planning online actions in support of the boycott on social media platforms including Twitter, Instagram, and TikHub today. Hence, it is not surprising. Social movements now find platforms here as well as means of communication. It is noteworthy that these kinds of initiatives sometimes begin with basic posts. Then it becomes a real media frenzy, able to influence brand reputation and box office earnings. If you haven't yet subscribed to our updates, kindly click the bell icon to avoid missing the most recent news and analytical reviews on the film business. We constantly welcome your comments, so share your ideas. Regarding the Snow White boycott, what do you suppose the circumstances call for? Please help us with a like. Returning to the core of what is happening, if you enjoy this style of conversation and tell your friends how the power of the audience can influence decisions, even at giants like Disney, it can be added that in recent days the situation surrounding Snow White has attracted attention not only from fans of classic animations but also from independent analysts and film industry experts. Some of them have already written reviews in which they examine Disney's marketing techniques closely, contrasting them with past successful or, on the other hand, failed launches. This kind of research clarifies that the boycott could be a signal to the business that it should rethink its strategies in the media environment of today, as well as a reaction from supporters. Moreover, debates on how the boycott may influence Disney's next projects have surfaced online. Many believe that if the audience is really determined, this could be an early warning to the business about the need of observing changes in creative policy and marketing as well. Furthermore noteworthy are the fresh prospects modern technologies and social media have presented for now. Every user who views a trailer or promo clip can instantly share their thoughts, thus millions of people have access to this opinion. Even a small gathering of unhappy viewers has great impact on the From a marketing standpoint, Disney has always been well known for its grand premieres and perfect screenings. But in this case, the pre-sale strategy limited to one small hall shows that the management of the company decided to take a risk, hoping that at least a part of the audience would not let the boycott to interfere. Still, given the numbers, it is already reasonable to believe that the audience's response could be far more negative than predicted. The Orlando theater is only one among many. If the trend continues, fresh statistics verifying the degree of the boycott could show up in the next days. Furthermore, some professionals are already expressing the belief that such behavior might set a standard for next projects, not only by Disney but also by other big studios. After all, if the audience in the United States and around the world starts actively rejecting to visit theaters for remakes, it could push filmmakers to search for new formats that better meet audience expectations. And for us, the lovers of quality cinema, this would be an additional stimulus to voice our opinions and demand greater sincerity and respect for cultural legacy from the creators. It is important to note that modern research indicates that social movements in the fields of culture and entertainment are becoming progressively significant. Even small groups of activists can gather enormous support if ideas resonate with millions in this context. The boycott of Snow White is not only a temporary phenomenon, but a vital indication to the whole film business. And if you, dear viewers, believe that now is the moment to speak out, don't hesitate to express your view in the comments. Your voice could spark a significant conversation that shapes not only the direction of this movie, but also the whole entertainment sector. Please subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to keep informed on all of our most recent entries. If you appreciate this style of debate and our analytical approach to news on the film business, add like to this video. We live in a time when every opinion counts and the combined strength of the audience can challenge even giants like Disney. If you believe that audience activity is a force capable of transforming even the most massive projects. Finally, the Snow White boycott is more than just a protest activity. As viewers, we should not remain silent if we believe that our beloved legacy is being subjected to unjustified changes. Instead, express your opinions and share them in the comments, reflecting great discontent among a segment of the audience with modern trends in the film business. Of course, hit the like button if you enjoy our discussion style. Subscribe to channels that candidly express their opinions on contemporary film. Friends, kindly write in the comments if you have ideas about the Snow White remake and would want to offer impressions or experience. Your view could start a significant conversation that shapes not only the direction of this movie, but also of the whole business. To not miss any fresh videos, reviews, or analytical pieces, remember to subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon. Every like and comment you provide inspires us to work even more and delight you with new news. Hence, this situation with Disney's Snow White remake becomes a remarkable illustration of how public opinion can affect even the biggest companies nowadays. Even giants like Disney are obliged to consider the increasingly louder voice of the audience today in the era of social media and instant feedback. And the boycott started by fans of classic animations may prove to be the impetus for major changes in the approach to producing and promoting remakes. Stay tuned, there is a lot of fascinating and vital information ahead. We will keep following the developments and make sure you are informed of all the news related to this topic. If you share our opinions or wish to learn more about the reasons behind the boycott, keep tuned. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and forward this video to your friends so that as many people as possible may learn about this real audience movement that might influence film industry rules of business. We appreciate you joining us. See you in our next reviews, dear viewers, where we will be talking on the most pertinent news and events in the realm of movies. Recall that your actions, every comment, every opinion you offer can significantly influence the direction the entertainment business takes. Always express your point of view, keep active and inquisitive. We can accomplish a great lot together. Goodbye, see you soon. Remember to subscribe, mark the like button, and leave comments. Your help is really appreciated.